We are now live with Maayan and Gal from Smoothtiv. They are doing some fantastic work for the international community, and we wanted to once again thank everybody for tuning in. Metropolitan loves to help people figure out how to live abroad, how to have a fantastic experience while you're doing so, and it is a pleasure to have experts in helping people go through this transition. So, Maayan and Gal and Polina, thank you for scheduling this and pulling this together. We'll be asking you some questions to help you showcase your business, as well as a little bit more personalized, I guess, opportunities for what people can or how they can do things better if they want to live abroad, or if they're already abroad and they're not having a great experience, how they can improve that experience, and so have a more powerful and happy life. Does that sound good?
Yes, thank you so much for having us, and we're happy to answer all your questions.
Okay, Paulina, why don't you go ahead and start off with a question?
Great. Well, the first one has to be, what inspired you to create Smoothtiv in this crowded expat market, and how do you make your brand stand out?
We started because we're expats since forever. For those of us who don't know us, we are sisters. We first moved abroad when we were little girls, and over the years we moved many times. We've done it. We learned how to do it the right way. And a couple of years ago, when we had a chance to finally combine our knowledges, both professionally and personal experiences, we're like, what do we know best? We know how to move abroad. We know how to do it the right way. We want to help others do this.
Yes, we saw so many people struggling in their life abroad, living in the most amazing places on earth and struggling and having a hard time. And we just wanted to help them because we have this experience. And what helped us to stand out, I think Smoothie is different than maybe other experts that are helping the expat community, that we bring both the emotional aspect and the mental aspect of life abroad and the technical, logistical, and we combine them together, having an holistic approach to life abroad. And we believe that it's only when both sides are balanced, then only then you can have a life you can actually enjoy living abroad.
Okay, so to understand and make it more relatable, you said that you have yourselves experience of living abroad and things that went well and things that didn't go well. Can you talk a little bit more about what you did?
So first time we moved abroad, as I said, as little girls, when our parents made the decision the first time. So you were a little bit older. I was really a baby. And since then we've moved a couple of times. I lived lived in Dublin, London, a little bit in the US, back and forth between Israel and France. And Maayan did pretty much the same experiences. And it was a lot, like moving out as teenagers, moving out as young kids, then as young adults. Now Maayan moved as a mom. So there's a lot of things to deal with. And we realize that everyone is focusing so much of their attention on the technical stuff, the visa, the job, the money, the housing. But no one talked for years. No one talked about the emotional challenges of living in abroad, of having to think in a different language, of having to learn different cultures, of having
to socialize, to make friends in a language you don't speak, to pay your taxes in a language you don't speak. And it's not only about those challenges that everyone has, because everybody has to pay their taxes, or to register to open a bank account or to open a business. But when you're an expat and you have the language barrier and you're feeling so lost sometimes, and you're feeling that you have to start from scratch, and you're feeling alone and you're homesick, and everything just add to this mental difficulties. And we thought it will be helpful to tackle this together with the technical and logistical issues.
Okay, Polina, you have a question?
Right, sure. I know that you initially started off with online courses and coaching. So how did you move from that to developing a mobile app, and what challenges did you find yourself facing?
Well, just like you said, we started with online programs for women only to help them prepare themselves for the move abroad. So, mental and emotional preparation, how to work on their confidence, how to work on their capabilities, how to approach things in a better way. Then we realized that why only stop with women when we can help men as well, and why stop only with the emotional aspect, because people are looking for both, and it's like vitamins and painkillers. So a lot of times people that are moving abroad are looking for the painkillers. They need answers now. Help me to find how I get my visa, help me to find a job abroad. Then maybe when I'll settle down, I can deal with my mental health. And there are some people that need to have those vitamins in advance, and then we help those and they prepare. But most of the people are, when they move abroad, they need those technical solutions for their problems. So we decided to combine both worlds and to offer something that brings everything together in one place. This is when we add the idea of an app. So it was one place to bring everything that we know, and we brought other experts as well to one place to make their life abroad simpler, so they don't have to look online for thousands of experts in different areas, different topics, and pay a lot of money. We just want to bring them to one place, the expert that we chose and interviewed, I don't know, hundreds of experts of life related to life abroad, and just make it simpler for people.
Had you ever developed an app before?
No, this was, as an entrepreneur, this was our biggest challenge up to now. We had this idea. We are like this. We woke up a morning and we're like, okay, we want to develop an app. Now what? So we started learning, and it's funny because we always compare our journey as entrepreneurs to the journey of those moving and living abroad, because it's similar challenges, right? You talk to people and they all tell you why you cannot do this, especially as women entrepreneur. Everyone were telling us, oh, you don't have the technical capabilities, you don't have the money for that, you don't know, you're too naive, this is not how it's gonna work. And we are stubborn. We know what we want, and we know how to go after our dreams. So we started interviewing app developers and start to ask, what question do we even need to ask app developers to know which app we want to develop and how to do it. We learned that the first thing, you create what's called an MVP, a first version of the app, and then you will keep on developing it. So all of our dreams, the first call, we were like, we want to do this and this and that and that. And they were like, ooh, hold on. Let's do first version first. And that's how we kept on growing. We kept on developing, and it's an ongoing journey. Up till today, our app launched 2 months ago now. And up till today, we still learn on a daily basis things about our app, about technical stuff that we never knew before, about what we can do to improve. We learn about our audience, what they want, what they don't want, how to make it better for them. It's an ongoing journey.
Okay. I can ask you this: what is the benefit of having an app over your website?
It's in your fingertip. People are using their phones on a daily basis. We are talking with expats that are coming to Europe. So most of them are living in big cities. They are busy, extremely busy. They use their phone on their commute to work. They use their phone when they scroll on their sofa. This is their time. It's easier for them to access the information that we share with them rather than having to open their website and go through an online course, etc. So we really wanted to simplify their lives, and one of the ways is to make it the most accessible way for them. Where are they? On their phones.
Okay.
Right. Diving more into the business world, what kind of marketing strategies would you say have worked best for you with the global expat community?
I think the first thing is that for the past 2.5 years, we created for ourselves a network of people in the uh, life abroad community, expat community, you name it. We talked to a lot of people and wanted to people to know about us. So even before we launched our app, we worked a lot on this networking. And now that we wanted to collaborate with different experts that are creating content for this app, then we know where to find them and we know that they can talk about us as well. Those are connections we created for the past 2 years and new ones we're creating all the time. So network is maybe, I think, a big strategy that takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. We have, different strategies like digital marketing. We have a freelancer that is working with us and she's creating with us digital campaigns. Maybe you want to talk about it more?
As we try, I want to say it like this: as entrepreneurs, we try a lot of things all the time. We don't believe in failure. We believe in it didn't work, and we keep on learning and growing from there. So we've done a lot of different ad campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. We're trying. We had a podcast. We stopped it. We're probably going to relaunch a new podcast in the next couple of months. We do a lot of, we go to networking events. We work a lot on our organic social media. So we have TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. We learned that you need to say different things in different places. There is this idea that you can really do the same thing everywhere, but it's not right. Okay, in LinkedIn you need to talk a certain language, and on Instagram a different one. We have a blog. We do a lot of different things, and we always optimize. We always check what works, what doesn't work, and if it's not working and it consumes too much of our energy, we make some changes and we try and find different ways and different tactics to approach. At the end, we have a certain goal. We want to bring people to simplify their lives, whether it's from the app or before it was from our courses or different stuff that we have in mind. But to put the name out there and to make people aware of what we're doing.
And I think also something that really works for us, and we realize that the more we give value in our marketing strategies, in our Instagram or email campaigns or LinkedIn, the more value we give, the better results we get. So this is an advice we got a couple of years ago. Don't be afraid to give it all, because you will always have more to give and people will pay you for your time, for the products that you'll give. But if you have information, valuable things that can help people, don't be afraid to give it up. So on our podcast, on YouTube, we give a lot of advices for free. We on our Instagram as well, on our LinkedIn. And I think this is one of the best advice we got marketing wise. The more value we give, the best results we get.
Yeah, I guess that speaks to social proof. Actually, I went to your site and I saw some very interesting marketing for the podcast, but I didn't see things going on. So I'm excited to hear more about it. One question that comes to me is, are you focusing on, you're based in France. So are you focusing on helping expats move to France, or is it supposed to be expats moving anywhere?
So we are focusing on English speakers moving to European countries at a time. So we're talking France, Spain, Portugal, UK, although it's not Europe anymore, but it's still a big chunk, and a little bit elsewhere. So we have some clients in Germany, we have some clients in Italy, but the vast majority is coming to those 4 countries that I cited. We did add this year Dubai to the matrix because it's a big market for expats, and a lot of Brits are moving to Dubai. So we started with the app. We added Dubai to the matrix, but that's basically where we stand. Based on time zone and on culture, it's completely different than, for example, moving to the US. It's a completely different approach. So we wanted to focus for now, for the time being. Maybe in the future we will expand, but this is where we focus our attention at the time.
It's already pretty ambitious to do multiple European countries because the cultural differences are pretty vast. Let me ask you this. Here in Barcelona, we have something called the International Community Day, in which the city rents out a museum, a big museum, maritime museum, and basically puts out a free event for people to attend, but then has um, companies that cater to the international community come and share their services. Is this something that, to your knowledge, exists in France or in Germany or in Dubai?
Uh, I haven't heard something that is organized by the city for the international community. I think there are for, the American community, for the British community. So it's like smaller, maybe. There are events, I think in Germany there is something, and in the Netherlands there is also something.
In Dubai, there's a lot of
Yes.
coffee, networking kind of things, but it's usually
It's-
private
yeah,
organization.
It's not organized by the city or the country.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you guys can come down and participate in one of ours. It's actually always sold out.
Yeah.
But if maybe one year, if you'd like to, but you can have some real estate with the Metropolitan. We've been doing this for like 10 years. I think this is the 11th year that the city does it. But our audience really are people who are chosen to move to Barcelona and make it their home. But a lot of those lessons that you talk about, particularly the psychological, the relocation, the localization, I believe is the new term everybody's using, is relevant to anywhere you move in the world. But how you do it and who helps you do it, that's different. That's a very local, very atomized, I guess, approach. Paulina, is there something you'd like to say?
I mean, only the next question though about KPIs.
Okay. You're very business oriented. I like your business oriented ways. Keep going.
Sure. So I'm very interested in like the key performance indicators. So how do you use them? Like, how do you track and like measure your business success in general, and how do they influence your next like business decisions?
So I want to say the human KPI, which is not something a lot of businesses wants to talk about. For us, when someone writes us a simple message of being, hey, you've made my life abroad better, simpler, smoother. Thanks to you, I don't want to quit my dream of living in another country. This is the best KPI that we have. We don't have millions of them just yet, but we do have a couple of hundreds of messages like this, and those are the biggest KPIs for us. But if we want to talk business wise, then we're talking today about app downloads and how many people are actually moving from free users on our app to paid users on our app, and how many users are watching the content that we do, how many users follow that by actually contacting the partner that we partnered with to create the content. So if, for example, we have this amazing career coach that has done brilliant programs on our app, if at the end she signed up a contract with someone, this makes us really happy, because if it means someone watched the content on the app, learned a lot of knowledge, and decided to keep on going and working with her on a one-on-one basis. So it's a great value for us, meaning we are expanding, we're really helping, we're really serving this community of expats. So there's a lot of different things that we measure along the way. And as I said before, we keep on learning how to measure them. Like, for example, I can tell you that we just added a new platform, a new software to work with called AppsFlyer that helps us analyze data within the app. Again, it's something I never heard of before a couple of months ago. Learning how to use it, learning how to implement it, and then learning how we can better use the data that we find in order to make smarter decisions further along.
Well, I have a question. I'm always not too nosy. We've been toying with the idea of creating an app for Metropolitan for a long time. And I've watched friends who have magazines, because that's what we are. And some have done it well, some have not gone well. What are the things that you think have gone well in creating the app? And then a follow-up question later on is, what are errors that expats or people who are going to be making? What are errors that they make? So let's focus on you for the moment. So what has gone well, or what has not gone so well with your app?
what has gone well with our app. I think the best thing that we did with the app is the collaborations with other experts. So understanding that, of course, we don't have all the answers, and that's totally fine. And by combining forces with people that are already known as experts
Field.
in their field, I think this was an amazing thing that happened with the app.
In terms of development, I want to say that us researching really well before we actually talked with any developer as to what do we want this app to be. So we went and we downloaded hundreds of apps on all different areas of expertise, like seriously, from dating apps to meditation apps to menopause and parenthood and gaming and so many different apps. So we wanted to see what do we want to do on our app, how do we want it to look,
what we don't want to do, like what bothers us as users. And when we had after this the first conversation with the UI UX designer, we were really clear about what we wanted and what we didn't want. And I think it really helped with the work with the development team. And we had, conversations all the time. It's not like I want an app created for me and let's talk in 1 month. We had like daily conversations. We wanted to see everything. We were really on it, even though we don't develop ourselves, but we wanted to see what they're doing without interfering, right? We trusted them, but we really were a part of it, even though we were not the developers.
Okay. And so as people who are maybe watching this and thinking, okay, I need to have Maayan or Gal advise me on what to do in my upcoming move from Israel to Barcelona. What are errors that people make that you find common?
Expat wise,
Yeah.
they think they need to do everything at once. Like that they need to solve everything. They have a long list, the longest of checklists possible. And it stressed them out, and they don't understand why it stressed them out, but it's because they have those longest checklists. And I want to add the mental side of things. Like this is the technical part. A lot of people are complicating their lives by trying to tackle everything at once. But the mental side of things, the emotional side of things, is the one usually being overlooked. People don't have an answer as to why they move to another country. They think the answer is their job. They think the answer is their kids. They think the answer is it's better lifestyle, but they don't know. They never ask themselves for real, what is the answer? And what we've seen over the years that we've been doing this, the number one question people are asking themselves when it's hard, and let's be honest, we are experts. We know it's hard. It's getting hard at many times. It doesn't matter how many times you moved abroad, you still have challenges. And then you find yourself sitting down and asking yourself, why the hell have I done it to myself? And if you don't have an answer, it's going to be even harder. So this is the number one mistake people are doing.
Interesting. Okay, then I have another question. Sorry, Paulina, I keep asking questions on the whole expat thing. I would like to move into an area of which would be funny because there's 3 women here and I'm the one who's asking the question. Women's health. We find that this is an incredibly important, always an important subject, just health in general. But women have sometimes a difficult time or a challenging time finding the right, say, gynecologist, even in their own home country. If they go to another country where they're not native level speakers, and it happens to be in a country where there's a lot of machismo, a lot of, I don't know, hard to relate to somebody. Is this something that your app helps? Because you mentioned collaborators and so forth, but the issues of hormone replacement therapy or finding something specific to women is something that we actually get a lot of questions at here in Metropolitan. We think there's a lot of value that we can help women with in particular, because women not only do they have to move, but increasingly women have these incredible careers, and now you're seeing most of them being the drivers. It's not, traditionally it's the wife following the husband, or the wife takes care of the kids. And now it's the wife, also she's responsible for bringing money home, and she's usually still responsible for taking care of the family and the whole settling in process. And then on top of that, she needs to make sure that, her, and if she has daughters, that they are taken care of from a female health standpoint. Is this something that you run into?
So first of all, I want to thank you for this question because this is a topic that not a lot of people bring up to the surface and are a little bit ashamed talking about. A lot of women want to show they're so strong and they're handling everything and everything is fine, but then they go to sleep crying at night. And to be quite honest, our app doesn't have for now content is answering those specific answers. We do have content about parenting, for example, on how to be a better parent when your family is moving abroad and how to understand better the challenges that your kid has. We do have this planned to talk more about those topics that are specific to women. And we do have some specific to men as well, because they do have other challenges. So those are both content that are already in the process of being edited, and we have the expert for them. It's not live on the app yet. And the beauty of the app is that we keep adding content based on what our clients need. So if we get from client, hey, I really want to know what's the process of finding your gyno in France or in Spain, then we will go and look for the expert that will give them this information in the most simplified way. Because it's not only the technical things that are different, the language that is different, it's a cultural difference. And I think the anecdote that we have about going to the gynecologist in another country, and suddenly in Europe, a lot of doctors are asking you to get fully naked in front of them, and it's very common. A lot of American coming in to France and like, hey, I don't want to get naked here. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. It's very different, but it's a cultural differences that you need to know before you go to the gynecologist for the first time or to any other doctor, because in France, for example, a lot of times any doctor will ask you to get undressed. And
at some level,
except the dentist, and if the dentist asks you, that's a problem. But if you're going, to see a general doctor, he might ask you to get undressed, and that's totally okay. Like, it's in the norms. And so this is something that we really want to bring. It's the cultural difference in the medical system that is really different. And you mentioned hormone replacement therapy. Those are really different approach from the US, for example, and in Europe. And it differs between doctors, and there's a lot of information there that we need to tackle. And what we try to do in the app is tackle very specific topic every time. So it's not the medical system, but it's like gynecology and pediatricians and mental health for women. It's very different for every specific topic. We don't want to overwhelm the clients. We want to give them simplified information so they can understand better their new life.
Well, one of the things, Barcelona is a big city for medical tourism. And actually, I was on a hike yesterday with my wife and a friend, and they were talking about another friend who was contemplating or trying to go through surrogacy, fertility treatments and so forth, and how important that is. And just it makes it much more complex for if you're an expat who comes here and all your medical history. Anyway, I get away from that. I didn't mean to go that far deep into it. Polina, do you have a question that you'd like to get on? Hold on a second. Make sure you're muted there.
Sorry. Do you work with relocation companies?
So we tried a couple of times. We reached out to different relocation companies. With some of them, we do work. Some of them sees us as competitions. And it's funny because this market of life abroad, someone said to us the other day, and I loved it, there's enough sun for everyone on this planet. We believe this is how we do business. We really believe in partnerships, in collaborations, in working with others. There's enough space and enough room for everyone. We're talking about over there's a total number of, I think the last time we checked, 200 million people moving abroad. If we're talking only Europe, we're talking about 3.5 million people moving every single year. It's a huge market. So we believe in working with others and making the services better. Not everyone sees it this way. So those who actually enjoy working with us, we enjoy working with them. And those who don't, well, we wave on from the side and we're like, great, enjoy, have a great continuous on your business, but we're not forcing anything.
So following on kind of Paulina's question there, who is your ideal client profile then?
We call it the DIYers of the expat community. We said it's those who make the empowerment and the brave choice of living a life in another country. They are not the travelers. They are not those who've been sent usually by a company and just cannot wait to move back to their home country. It's the people who actually sat down and were like, I want to live in Spain. I want to live in France. I want to, and I'm going to make all the efforts to go there and deal with everything that comes with it. So for us, those are our clients. The English speakers right now who are moving to European countries who made the choice to live there.
Okay, then I have another question. We get this asked a lot. Pets. All the paperwork that goes along with taking your beautiful cat and your beautiful dog with you to another country, and sometimes they give you the wrong advice. The official people will tell you that you have to put a chip in it, but then it's not the right chip. So then they have to quarantine the poor animal for weeks or months, and you don't say, the poor animal's going crazy because they don't see their owners. And do you guys cover this at all?
This is something that is a big topic. We love it. We've been in touch with a couple of vets in order to create the right program. None of them yet has decided to sign up with us because it's not working for them. They don't know how to talk in front of a camera. They don't know how to create a program. So we try. It's still a negotiation process. It's definitely something we want to add to the app because it's something a lot of people are struggling with to get the right information. But we want to make sure that we bring the right person with the right information to the app, because we said it all the time. The information is out there. If you Google things, you will find a lot of information, but is it the right information? Not for sure. And is it the right person to deliver the information in a way that you will actually understand what they're saying? That's another important topic. So we rather wait a little bit and bring the right information rather than just put it out there and confusing people. So it's a work in progress.
Okay. Paulina, I think you wanted to ask a question about the career shift.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you get to this business, as both of you initially started with different careers and shifted your career from something else a few years ago? How did that kind of shift?
So I think like a lot of people, COVID came and changed our life forever. We both had different careers. I was a graphic designer. I had my own studio for over 10 years and I was living in Israel. You were?
Was in marketing. I used to work in advertising. Then I had my own business in marketing back in Israel. And COVID happened and both businesses collapsed. Let's be totally honest about it. Like most businesses during COVID, there was a hold on, like everyone pressed pause for a couple of years. We believe in seeing challenges as opportunities. It's part of our core beliefs. And each one on our own started questioning, okay, what do we do? What is the next business? We come from different businesses. We come from different personal journeys, but it finally aligned. So I know that a couple of years ago, I asked myself, is marketing really the thing that I'm the best at? And although I was really good and I really love advertisement, I decided to go back to uni and study positive psychology to understand better how our brain works and how can we make this world a better place. Kind of, it was a naive, hippie approach to life. How can we make people smile on this planet that is sometimes really dark? So I came to this. I became a coach. It was alongside my marketing. business. And then once the marketing business stopped, I was like, coaching is still a big thing that people need. So I kept on working on that.
Yeah, and I, through a personal journey, discovered yoga and mindfulness, and I studied and I became a mindfulness coach. And then we wanted to combine our forces and work together. And we both moved to France, started a new life in France, and started a new business. With all the challenges of starting a new business in a country that we both knew before, but not as adults and not as entrepreneurs. And we got so many challenges with French bureaucracy. For example, I know you wanted to talk about challenges of having a business. So we both speak French, for example, but not with the right terms for entrepreneurships. Like, we learned French, but you don't have all the vocabulary you need. So people started speaking to us, and it was not French, but Chinese. And we had to learn a lot and to understand that culturally, for example, it's a lot slower than everything we knew before, and that everything takes more time. And there are certain rules that, like, they are very strict, and that this is the way it is, and there is no way to argue with it. And that's okay. We dealt with it all, and we found our path to register as a business in France together as sisters. Like, our accountant was, are you sure you want to do this together 50-50? I'm like, yes. But do you know what it means? I say, yes. And they had a hard time understanding how we do things and how we move so fast in the business. For example, when we created the app, it was like, okay, so those are your plans for 2025. And it was like, no, it was November 2023. And we said, okay, we're going to launch beginning of 2024. And our accountant was, no, this can be done. Yes, it will be done. And we did.
And Polina, I have one other question, and then let's see if you can close it down here. When you are helping expats, say, move to France, and you have all these different collaborators that are on the periphery of your business, relocation consultants, moving consultants, or moving companies, business creation, what is the number one question that comes in to you that perhaps if you had to develop a B2B relationships with or other collaborators, who would be your biggest source of support for what you do?
For what we do as a business?
Yeah.
We had a couple of business coaches over the years, but I think the number one thing is motivation, and just a reminder that we know what we do. We just need sometimes someone to bring us back on track and be like, it's okay, you got lost, come back, you know where you're going.
It's a lot of mindset work.
Yeah.
And a lot of the work we do ourselves is self-development and mindset work all the time, keeping, learning new approaches and techniques to keep our mindset very focused on what we want to achieve, to know what we want all the time, to have enough strength to move forward, even though things are not working always as we want to, and we have obstacles all the time. But a lot of work that we do personally is mindset work.
Okay.
I love saying that, and it's not me, but it's the 20-80 ratio. It's 20% skills and 80% mindset. It is true for businesses. It is true for a relocation. It is true for every single aspect that we do in life. It's 20% skills or technicalities or the things that we focus usually most of our attention on, but it's actually 80% psychology, mindset, personal confidence, and all of that. So whenever we have a challenge within our business, that's where we go and find our answers, actually in the mindset. And then
we have challenges all the time, every day.
And our last question would be, how can Metropolitan help you?
Well, I think this is really helpful, just to put ourselves out there on every platform that we can and to speak about our business and what we do. And I think most importantly, even, is to speak about what we believe in and the emotional aspect and the mindset work. And those are the things that really are important to us. And we wanted to bring them out there to the expat world. So I think this is very helpful to give us this platform to speak about. And thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Well, we hope to see you in Barcelona, either in an event or in another opportunity. As I said before, we really believe in working together with others. This community of expat world, life abroad world, however we want to refer to it, is huge. There's a place for everyone, and we can all learn from one another. So it's a
And
great.
Barcelona is really close. So just say the word and we're there. So
Okay. Well, we would love to welcome you here. Have a café au lait and some proper French croissants. Je n'ai personne avec qui je peux pratiquer le français. C'était un plaisir de parler avec vous.
Merci beaucoup.
À la prochaine fois. Paulina, any closing words you'd like to share?
I don't think so, except that I would love to see you in Barcelona someday.
we will.
Okay.
We will.
Nicely said. Ladies, can you hold on a second? I'm going to end the conversation here, but then I'd like you to stay on for a moment.